Hey guys, From Sonance here, back in another video. So in this video, we're gonna make a drop, like the biggest tech house track of the year, From Amsterdam.
Off my face, don't know where I am, cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam.
So as you can hear, the track consists of a stuff related vocal, a really big pre-drop lead, and a typical house plug. So in today's video we're gonna start off with a vocal. I already dropped in one, coming from an upcoming pack. It sounds like this.
The drugs are flowing through my skin. Let's do some clubbing in Berlin.
I also added a small delay tail to it. So right after the vocal the big lead comes, so let's work on the lead sound right now. So I loaded up this empty Serum. Let's pick a preset for the pack. We'll be using this band pass lead. So now we're gonna dive into the melody. The melody of those kind of tracks have to be quite catchy, so we're gonna work on F sharp because the vocal is in F sharp as well. Then go up to the dissonant note, back to the root and up to the third note. Just like this. Duplicate it and make a small variation to emphasize the end of the melody, to go down to the 7th note and duplicate it once more. So altogether the MIDI sounds like this. Now we're gonna mix it. First I added distortion to it, really brings out the sound. Then I added a low cut to it, with a dip around here as well, because it's quite resonating over there. Then to finish it off, I added an end of smile to it as well, which will be automating. Just like this to slightly open up. Together with a vocal, the lead sounds like this.
In Berlin.
So now we're gonna work on the drums. So first let's drop in a drum loop from the pack. We'll be using this one, sounding like this. We're gonna cut out the clap and place it in the pre-drop as well. Just like this. And then I want to add delay to it. Like this. And then automate the mix level. So it's building in the pre-drop as well, just like this. Then just copy over the clap to the drop. We're gonna drop it around here. Extend the delay automation. And let it open up at the last clap of every 2 bars. To give it some more groove. Giving this effect. Now we're gonna add the clap to it as well. It's quite a long kick, so what I did is add a kickstart to it. To cut out the tail of it. Sounding like this. So now we're gonna add an open head to it. We'll be using this one. Just drop it in every offbeat. So the basic drums sound like this. Now it's time to add some more groove to it. So first I added this head from the pack to it. Sounding like this. Placed right before the open head. And then the snare sound as well. Placed right at the end of every bar. Together sounding like this. Already adding some more bounce to it, so now we're gonna add a perk loop for the pack to it. I just dropped in this one. We're not gonna use the full loop, but just cut out a small part of it. Just like this. Sounding like this. We got our drum loop ready, so now we're gonna add a small trick to it. We got a typical tech house loop. So just make sure to cut out the low end. Heavily distort it. And then clean it up again. And heavily compress it as well with a really low threshold. To really crush the sound. And then what we're gonna do is mix it back in with the other drums. At a really low volume. So what we basically did is adding some parallel compression and some parallel distortion to bring out the transients and to fill up the drums a little bit more. It really makes the drums stand out more, so make sure to use it in your own productions as well. So that's it for the drums. Now we're gonna dive into the bass sound. So now we're gonna dive into the bass line. I got this empty server loaded up, so let's pick a preset from the back. We'll be using this one, so let's dive into the MIDI. Starting on the root note. Melody gonna be kind of the same as the lead melody, so with a lot of roots and dissonance. Again, go down at the end of the second bar, so then we're gonna loop it. So altogether the MIDI sounds like this. So now we're gonna mix it. First I want to remove quite a bit of the high end. Then add some distortion. And clean it up again. Removing this muddy frequency as well. And then quite a big sidechain. So now we're gonna add a few steps to it. First I got this Serum preset from the pack. It's quite a dope bass fill. And place it right here. Then I added this other dunk step, something like this. We're gonna make a fill at the end of the bar, so just like this. So altogether the bass sounds like this. So now we're gonna dive into the Pluck Sound. Sounding like this. I got this preset from the pack. Based off the classic M1 preset. So now we're gonna work on the MIDI. It's gonna be kind of the same as the bass MIDI, but with a little bit more variation of the notes. So let's start off on the root note. Melody gonna be kind of the same as the bass line, but just a little bit more variation to it to make it a little bit more melodic. So this will be the first bar. Then a small variation to the second. Then we're gonna duplicate it and make a small variation at the end. Just switching the notes. Sounding like this. So now we're gonna mix it. First I got rid of the low end. And dip this frequency because it's resonating quite a bit. Then push it really hard to the sides because we have the bass and the mid frequencies combined with the drums. So I want to have this at the sides. A lot of reverb as well. And delay. Of course the sidechain to finish it off. So that's it for the Pluck sounds. The only thing we're gonna do is add some more effects to it right now. So what I did was making the build up a little bit smoother with a crowd effect. Another crowd kind of effect to really fit it up some more. You can hear that in the Amsterdam track as well. A string sound. An uplifter. And downlifter. I also made this reverse effect of the synth. Adding a lot of energy to it, so it's literally the first hit recorded and then reversed, giving this effect. Then I dropped in a chant as well to the drop. And these crash fills at the end of the drop. Of course we need to duplicate the elements to the second part of the drop, so basically those are all the elements of the Maupi style track in FL Studio. So I think the final result turned out really dope. We're gonna listen to it in a minute. Besides that, if you like the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next videos.
The drugs are flowing through my skin. Let's do some clubbing in Berlin.